Have you ever found yourself wondering why a simple, unanswered text can send your mind completely spiraling? Or maybe why you and your partner seem to have the exact same fight over and over and over again? Well, the answer might just lie in this really powerful, kind of invisible force that shapes all our closest relationships, our attachment style.
Let's really zoom in on that feeling for a second. You know, the sweaty palms, the racing heart, the whole story you start telling yourself, it feels super dramatic, right? But that's because, on a really deep biological level, your brain is treating that silence not just as, a social snub, but as a potential survival threat. It's kind of like a glitch in our ancient wiring.
So to understand this so-called glitch, we gotta look at the operating system it's running on, which is attachment theory. And this isn't just about your childhood, okay? It's a lifelong program that's constantly running in the background, and it's always asking one fundamental question: am I safe with you? I mean, think about it. Our need for connection is just as fundamental as our need for food or water. It is not a weakness, it is a survival mechanism, plain and simple. Our attachment system is designed to keep us close to people who can protect us when we're feeling threatened or stressed out. It's basically our brain's way of seeking safety in numbers.
A secure relationship gives us two incredible superpowers. First, what we call a safe haven. You know, that port in the storm of life where we can go for comfort and shelter. And second, a secure base, sort of a launch pad that gives us the confidence to go out and explore the world because we know we have a safe place to come back to. You really, really need both to thrive.
So let's be super clear here. The goal is not to have some perfect conflict-free relationship. That's a total fantasy. The real goal is felt security, that deep, gut-level feeling that you're safe, that you matter, and that you can count on this person no matter what. It is the anchor in the storm.
But what happens when that anchor starts to drag a bit? You know, when a real or even a perceived threat puts our connection on shaky ground. Well, our brains don't just sit back and hope for the best. Nope, they go straight into problem-solving mode.
Our brain basically deploys one of two main strategies, and you can think of them as a relationship's version of fight or flight. The fight response is what we call hyperactivation. It's an anxious push towards your partner to try and close that distance. The flight response is deactivation, a self-protective pull away to create space and manage the threat on your own.
And just notice how these two strategies are like perfect mirror images of each other. The anxious strategy, which fears abandonment, pulls closer. The avoidance strategy, fearing being suffocated or rejected, pushes away. It is so crucial to understand that these are not character flaws. They are smart, adaptive strategies for dealing with what feels like a real threat.
So, where do these ancient survival strategies play out most dramatically in our modern lives? You probably guessed it, right there in the palm of our hands.
Yeah, the data on our messaging habits is pretty fascinating. Anxious strategies often lead to a more is more approach, so more texts, faster responses. Avoidance strategies, on the other hand, they tend towards less is more, fewer texts, slower responses. It's this whole digital dance of come here and go away.
But this isn't just about texting, of course. These patterns, they escalate and they become most visible when we're in conflict. Why? Because that's when our attachment system kicks into total overdrive, basically screaming, "Is this connection safe?"
I mean, just think about this. The same exact argument can be experienced in two completely different ways. For someone using an anxious strategy, it can feel like the world is literally ending. For someone using an avoidance strategy, it can feel like they're being trapped. Same conflict, completely different perceived threat.
So for the anxious strategy, the main goal is just to reconnect, even if that means doing it through a fight. Silence is the real enemy. All that protest behavior, the constant texting, maybe picking a fight, it's all just a desperate attempt to get a signal that the connection still exists. And for the deactivating strategy, the goal is the complete opposite. Create distance to feel safe again. The withdrawal, it isn't meant to be a punishment. It's a self-preservation tactic. It's a way to manage overwhelming emotions and avoid feeling controlled or criticized.
Okay, so at this point, you might be feeling a little bit seen, and maybe a little hopeless too. Like, are we just stuck in these patterns forever? Well, the good news, and it's really, really good news, is no. There is a path forward.
Neuroscience shows us that our brains are plastic. We can literally rewire our attachment patterns by building what's called earned security. What this means is that even if our early relationships weren't so ideal, we can actively create new, secure attachments in our adult lives.
So, the secret ingredient here is something called secure dependency. And I know, dependency can kind of sound like a dirty word, but this is really about effective interdependence. It's the radical idea that true strength isn't about being an island. It's about knowing how to build a strong bridge to someone you trust. It's about letting someone help you calm your nervous system, which is actually the fastest way to feel better. And here's the beautiful paradox in all of this. The more securely connected we are, the more independent we can actually be. It's kind of like a trapeze artist with a safety net. The stronger that net, the more daring the acrobatics can be. A secure connection doesn't hold you back, it actually sets you free.
So the big takeaway here is this. Creating felt security isn't about these huge, grand, romantic gestures. It's all about the small, everyday moments of connection. It's about putting your phone down when your partner is talking. It's about sending that quick thinking of you text. It's about being a safe harbor in the small storms, so that you can weather the big ones together. So my question for you is, who can you be a safe harbor for today?